uh, make informed decisions and find doctors who are best suited for their treatment. Now we move on to the tools and the techniques for what are the tools, what were the tools and the techniques we have used in this website. That first we design by the Figma tool, and then we create the front, and then we export the code and tag some buttons and the input text area by the Lookify app, and it convert all the design in the HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript files. Then we make the backend, which is the PHP language used to create the web services, and the jQuery for connecting with the frontend. And then we make database in MySQL database to store the data of the doctors. And hosting platform is I've already discussed that the 000 web host is our public hosting platform. And this is the design of my website used by the Figma. So here the site name is the Heal Therapy, and you see that these are the navigation bar from where when you click the get started, this will redirect you to this input text area where you have to type the doctor area and the search area of that doctor. And when you click the search button in this layer, between this layer blue region and the white region, here you will be shown the respective doctors from your search. And these are the steps for getting the consultations. And these are just some brief description of qualities of doctors. And now this is just a design made by the Figma app. And by the Lookify app, we have just we give them just tag that buttons and test area, and then from the help of the Lookify app, we have just converted and we have just export the code of in the form of the HTML and the CSS and the JavaScript. Now, what's the working of the project? First, the user have to entering the details and press the search button. Then a request will be sent to the backend through the jQuery for doctor's data. And then, in the backend section, web service will fetch the doctor data from the database. Then the data will be sent to the backend service or backend web service, and from the backend web service, the data will fetched by the jQuery and will show to the front end. This will be the pathway that how the data will be fetched from front end to the front end. So this is the snapshot of where we have to put the doctor type in the search area. Then we click the button, and the jQuery will be sent to the PHP file, and it takes data from the MySQL database and return, and that data returned by the jQuery to the front end. And in the backend, we use the PHP language is to create the web service and the jQuery for connecting with the front end and allowing data exchange and interaction between the service and the client. PHP serves as the service server-side language, handling the tasks such as the processing request, execution, business logic, and interacting with the database. And the jQuery, on the other hand, is a JavaScript library, simplify the client and making it easier to manipulate HTML elements, handle events, and perform asynchronous communication with the server using Ajax. Together with the together help of the PHP and the jQuery provide us the dynamic foundation for building responsive and interacting web services. And in the database MySQL, we use the MySQL database, and the is used to store the data of doctors, providing a reliable and efficient storage solution for organizing and managing information related to doctors. MySQL is a popular open source relational database management system, scalability and robust performance. It allows for the creation of tables, defining relationships within them, and executing queries to retrieve, insert, update, and delete the data. With MySQL, the data of doctors can be securely stored, easily accessed, and efficiently manipulated and facilitating the tasks such as searching for doctors, managing appointments, and maintaining record. For hosting our platform, we have used 000 webhost.com platform. It's a popular web hosting service that provides a free hosting plans. It offers features such as ample disk bandwidth and the user-friendly control panel for managing files, databases, and other hosting services. Here, users can deploy their PHP-based web services and associated components such as MySQL database for storing the doctor data in publicly accessing environment. It provides a convenient solution for hosting projects and making them available to users on the internet. Now, this is the dashboard of that our hosting platform 000webhost.com. Now, when we click on the file manager, we redirect to this page, and we have to store our all files. In this public folder, we used for storing the images, global CSS files for global CSS and the index CSS. Both are the files for the CSS file which design our website. Index HTML is platform for the it is for the basic web. It is used for the basic website framework, and the web service.php file is for the backend, which used for connecting with the backend to the front end. And in the database manager, we have stored the data of the doctors. Here is the table where ID is given, doctor name, doctor information, doctor area, and the doctor image, and the doctor category is given to all doctors. Now we are going for the live demo of our website. So it is that website. So when we click on the get started, we redirect to the text area where we have to type just doctor type, that we put general physician in Delhi area. Now that we have found one doctors, that is Vimal Kumar. Now we have to find all doctors in the Delhi region. Just we have to type Delhi in the search area and click on the search button. Now we get the all doctors in the Delhi region. So this is our link, website link. This is for the GitHub link. Here are the references from which I used to help. And thank you, and everything you would like to ask. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I hope you are done with your presentation.
Yes, sir.
Hello, are you done with your presentation? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Your presentation was really, I would say it was good. Like, it was put together really well, but I believe your overall explanation can be improved. It looked like you were mostly reading from the side, which is not a good thing. Okay, so what you can do is try to reduce the amount of text you have in your PPT slides, as well as work more on your explanation. The amount of text you have, you can say it as an explanation and reduce the amount of text in the actual PPT. So make it point wise and only include the necessary point instead of just put it in the PPT. That will not look good. As also you can improve the formatting. It will make your presentation look much better. The images were really well put together. They were taking entire slide. The visibility was also good. Okay. Can you show me the conclusion slide of the PPT?
I didn't make any conclusions.
Why is that?
Everything is just
okay. No problem. In future, when you are making a presentation, keep in mind that conclusion slide is really important and you should include it. Okay. So in the conclusion side, you can basically talk about the limitation or the problems that you faced in the while the development process, how you solve those issues, as well as what are your findings, right? So you can talk about these things in the conclusion. So it is really important. Or you can just give a quick overview of entire development process again, right? So a good presentation, you will realize every good presentation had some sort of repetition. Repetition is good thing if you would like to convey your entire whatever you are trying to teach them to your viewers. If you repeat it, they will understand it much better, right? So have some point of repetition, but not you are literally repeating it, just in a smart way, such as adding a conclusion where you are just going over the everything that you have said again, right? So that will be good thing. Demo was really well done, but it can be improved. So when you are giving demo, try to give demo with respect to the client requirement, right? So when you are giving when you are trying to explain your design or trying to explain your database, explain with respect to the client requirement, what you understood from the client requirement, and what how your actual the thing that you have made is able to fulfill that requirement, right? That will be much better for you to explain, because you will be actually explaining the process that you have done yourself, right? So something that you have done yourself, that is much easier to explain than just reading it from the side. Okay, so
Yes.
work on that. Other than that, it was well put together. It was just not in depth. We need more in depth content. Okay, and include the conclusion slide next time.
Yes.
And in thank you slide, you can include your email also. We'll move to then. We are done with your presentation. Okay, let's see who is next. Okay, so Kalyani Raut, that will be decided by Devanshu sir. He will look at your performance, and based on that, you will receive a paid internship or either completion letter. You can ask in the technical support chat for that. Okay, we do the evaluation at the end of the month. Okay, but you can let the technical support know that you are seeking the paid internship and your 2 month period is completed. If you have asked, then they must have told you the answer, right? Okay, then maybe probably they are busy trying to help someone else, or you need to ask again. Or you can also send an email at the support@hackpedia.in, or you can message at the number that is provided in the hackpedia.in website. That is number for the support. You will also get that number in welcome session. We have given you two numbers, right? You can contact any of them, and you can let them know the task you have done, the presentation you have done, and based on the scores and everything, the evaluation will be done, and they will let you know if you are eligible for the paid internship. I hope this clears your query. Okay, then Shivanshu, Saini.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
May I share the screen, sir, for
Yeah, please.
presentation?
Yeah.
Sir, hope the screen is visible, sir.
Yeah, it is visible.
Yeah. Now, so my topic is future location prediction system. The task given to me is develop a future location prediction system using Data IQ Data Science Studio. So the question comes first is, what is future location prediction? Future location prediction using machine learning is a is a technique that utilizes historical location data and other relevant features to develop models that can anticipate where individuals or groups are likely to be in future. By analyzing patterns and relationships in data, ML algorithms can make predictions about the future locations, enabling organizations to optimize the operations and enhance targeting and improve resource allocations. And the next question comes here is, what is Data IQ? Data IQ DSS is a powerful tool that is a powerful data science platform that simplifies and accelerates data-driven projects. It offers seamless data integration, efficient data preparation, and initiative visual exploration capabilities. With its user-friendly interface, Data IQ DSS enables organizations to streamline their data science workflows and collaborate effectively and drive valuable insights from their data. So first we have to set up our Data IQ. Then we have to load data set. Now the question comes here, what is data set? A data set refers to a structured collection of data that is organized and stored for analyzing or pre-processing. It typically consists of individual data points such as records or observations organized in rows and columns, with each column representing a specific attribute or variable. Data sets can be used for various purposes, including statistical analysis, machine learning, data mining, and research to extract meaningful insights and make informed decisions. So the data set which was provided in for feature location prediction system is location data set, and each row in this data set represent a journey or a trip and contains the following information: ID, a unique identifier for the journey, event time start, the start time for the journey, event time and the end time of journey, let start. Let start means the latitude of starting location of the journey, and lone start means longitude of starting location of journey. Let end means latitude of destination location of journey, and lone end means longitude of destination location of journey. So first we have to create a model to predict late end using lasso layers. So the question comes here, what is model? A model in machine learning is a mathematical representation trained on data to make predictions or perform tasks without explicit programming, enabling automated decision making. It learns patterns or relationships from data and can be applied to various applications such as classification, regression, or recommendation system. So I have used to predict late end using lasso layers. So what is lasso layers? A lasso layers least angle regression with L1 regulation is a linear regression algorithm that combines the lasso method and the least angle regression algorithm. It performs feature selection and regularization by shrinking the coefficients of irrelevant features, promoting sparsity in the model, and improving interpretability. So why I have used lasso layers? Model can be made by using another techniques as well. Lasso layers is used in the future location prediction to predict the latitude of ending location because it performs feature selection and regularization and effectively handling high dimensional data and reducing the impact of irrelevant feature, leading to improved prediction accuracy. Another reason is also that latitude and longitude are continuous data, and for continuous data we use regression techniques, and among the regression techniques lasso layers works well. Then comes it about metrics. Metrics is used to evaluate our algorithm. A metrics in machine learning algorithm refers to quantity measures used to evaluate the performance and quality of model or algorithm. These metrics access various aspects such as accuracy, precision, recall, F1 score, and mean squared or area under curve depending on specific task and type of model. The metrics I have used here is R2 score. And R2 score measures the proportion of variance explained by the model and is used in the future location system to access the accuracy and predictive power of model in estimating latitude of ending location. So the variance score of this model is 0.99995, which is too good, and the error is too small because it is 0.00134, and R2 score for this is 0.9995, which is almost equals to 1. Then we get as a result a predicted latitude data set. So sir, you can observe here. This late end is the latitude of end location given by location data set, and this prediction is the latitude of end location predicted by our model, and this is the error we got here. By finding the latitude and the latitude end. Then we create a model to predict longitude using XGBoost, and the data set we have used here is predicted data set, predicted latitude data set. XGBoost stand for extreme gradient boosting and optimized gradient boosting algorithm widely used in machine learning tasks. So why XGBoost I have chosen for this task? XGBoost is chosen because it is capable of handling complex relationships and capturing non-linear patterns in data. The predicted latitude data set is utilized as input for predicting the longitude, and latitude and longitude often exhibit interdependencies in location-based systems. So the metric score for this model is variance score is 1, and there is also some error, and the error will always be there. And R2 score is 1. 1 means R2 score here means there is somewhat of overfitting of the model. And this is predicted longitude data set. Long and is the longitude of the end location given by the location data set, and this is the predicted longitude, and this gives the error here. And this is the final flow of the whole process. First we have location data set, then I have created a model and I predicted destination latitude using this. Then the predicted latitude data set is created. Then using this data set and by using XGBoost techniques, I have created another model to predict longitude prediction using XGBoost, and that I have got a predicted longitude data longitude score. So the whole process I have done here is by few clicks, but the actual process is not like that. There is some backend code running. So this is the backend code. Destination. Okay, sir. First, I have predicted the destination latitude in location dataset. So this is the backend code running and doing the old task. It is in Python. So this is task first importing base data, then initializing data management, then cross-validation strategy, feature pre-processing, then modeling. Here we have created the model. Then here are the results. What are the metrics are to score. So then I have created longitude prediction model using XGBoost, predicting long end in predicted latitude dataset, because I have used the predicted latitude dataset here. First is importing base data, initial data management, then cross-validation strategy, feature pre-processing, modeling, and then results. So, so the conclusion of future location prediction system is that the development of future location prediction system using data IQ and machine learning technique offers valuable insights for organizations across various industries by integrating historical location data, demographic information, conceptual data. Accurate predictions of various locations can be generated. This enables organizations to optimize operations, enhance customer targeting, improve resource allocations with capabilities of data IQ, DSS, and the use of advanced models such as XGBoost. Accurate and scalable predictions can be achieved, leading to informed decision making and improved business strategies. Thank you.
Okay, so I hope your presentation is done.
Yes.
Okay, so there is no Q&A slide. I can see that you only have thank you slide.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so add the Q&A slide, and in the thank you slide, if possible, include your email. You can say that if anyone has any further queries, they can question me on the email itself. Okay, that is also a good
Okay,
thing.
sir.
Other than that, see, the demo needs to be improved the way you are doing. It is preferable if it is a live demo, but it was fine too. But you need to work on your project demonstration skills. And then coming to your actual explanation skill, the thing is you are mostly just reading from the side, right? Don't do that. What you can do is you can make notes in the PPT. There is feature of adding notes. You can add the notes and read it from there. It is okay if you are reading it. We understand this is your first presentation. It is hard for you to do presentation, and not everyone is comfortable doing a presentation. So add those things in note and read it from the notes. We can't see your note if you are in a presentation mode, right? So learn how to do that. In a PPT itself, try to include only the minimal text that is only important for your viewers to just look at the text and know what is going on and where we are currently in the explanation process, right?
Okay, sir.
PPTs was well good, but again there was a lot of text, so that can be improved. Conclusion was good, but again you were just reading from that, so work on that also. Other than that, it was fine. Just work on your overall expression skill. It was put together really well. You explained why we are using certain algorithms, but when it's come to explanation, that is not just enough. Start by explaining what is a data set. You did explain what is data set, but I'm not saying the actual definition of data set. I'm saying your actual data set. You have multiple columns and data, right? So explain what those columns and data are, what you are understanding from those columns and data set, and based on that, what was your thought process during the entire task, right? So how did you reach the certain output that you have reached, and what does that output mean? in a data science and machine learning group, that is the most important thing. And making your viewers understand the data and making your viewers understand your output, right? So work on that. Try to explain output more clearly and more like, preferable if you are trying to give more examples that your viewers can connect to you, right? That will be much preferable. So work on your explanation skill. You can make good presentation, but explanation is something that you will learn when you do more presentation. Okay.
Okay, sir. I will take care of it next time.
Yeah. Thank you. Then we'll move on to Manish Wahale. Yeah, Manish.
Yeah, am I audible and visible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible and visible.
So, wait a minute. I'm sharing the screen.
Can you tell me the name of your task?
Future location prediction.
Future location prediction.
Yeah, sir.
It's same as the previous one.
Yeah, sir.
So okay, you can start.
Uh, so is it visible?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, sir. Seems like we are the only 3%.
Yeah.
Uh, so, so good evening, sir. So I'll be discussing about the future location prediction, which is my first task of the internship. So I'll be going through this table of contents. First, we'll understand what exactly the task is, what kind of tools we are basically utilizing here. Then we'll look the data which we are using and do some exploration about that. Then here it comes the main task, that is machine learning. We'll build some models to predict the targets which we are supposed to. Then evaluation and inference. Evaluation and inference of the model, and lastly some key takeaways from the task and eventually ultimately from the project. So let's understand the task. Future location prediction. So basically, it refers to estimating the position of any individual or object based on some few features which we know, like its start position, its direction, its speed, and basically predicts its future point in the geometric space in the future time. So the task is basically to build an ML model which will perform this automatically without any human intervention. So for this, the primary thing obviously is collecting the relevant data for the task, which is provided by the Hackweather team. Uh, then understanding the features which in the data, which basically the model is built on. Then we'll this is the most important thing. We'll have a quick look over the data quality. This is most important thing in data science. Then finally, after doing that, we'll do model building and lastly evaluation. So for the tools, I have incorporated only one tool, that is Data IQ, that was supposed to. So let's see what is Data IQ. So Data IQ is like a data science platform which provides this DSS, that is Data Science Studio, as a tool, which is a very popular and sophisticated comprehensive data science tool, which provides a variety of facilities, data science task facilities like data integration, data wrangling, data preparation. It also provides machine learning, which is also like an auto ML part of it. Then model deployment, which is used for the production purposes, and collaboration, yes, and finally model monitoring and monitoring of the product at a production scale. So this is a very fantastic tool for, it is very simple rather than coding, hard coding the Python code. This is very simple. Uh, Basically, a non-technical person can also do this. So let's see the data. So our data consists of 7 features on which we are going to build. I build a model. So the 7 features are the ID. So the ID is basically the unique event which is happening. So like a person or an object is starting to move, it has something, a unique identification which is required for our database basically. Then its event start time. It is basically, it has the data type of date, and it is the start timestamp of that person or object of the event starting. Then its event time, it is also having the data type of date. Then this lat start. Lat start is basically the person's or object's latitude starting position. Uh, it has a decimal or float d type. Then it's also longitude position, as a geometric coordinates consist of latitude and longitude. And similarly, the latitude and longitude end. So these two features are basically your target features, which are going to which are predicted in the task. And this data consists of 1537 rows, which are the samples. This is fairly low basically. So in production level, it may be in even lakhs or millions also. So this is the most important thing of the data science task. So what's the data quality? Uh, so, um, so there is a big red flag in our data set. So it consists of four columns: lat start, long start, and lat end and long end, with very unusual data distribution. So from my findings, it's supposed to have columns with only 24 distinct values out of 1537. So this is very bad basically. So if I show you, uh, uh, okay, wait a second, I will show you at the later stage only. So it also, so columns having those only 24 distinct values also affects into changing these continuous features, acting like the categorical columns. So basically, the lat end and long ends are basically continuous numerical values, say 5.2, 36.9. So these are basically continuous values. So having only 24 distinct values converts this regression problem into a categorical problem. And even out of 1537, we'll see that, let us say, there is higher data redundancy in a data set. The most important, the most uh, problem here is that the lat and long end, which are basically your target features or the target columns, have a huge data redundancy. So, like out of 1537, almost 1514 samples are basically of one category, and the rest are of single samples of the rest of the 23 categories. So this is not allowed, and this also introduces an extensive possibility of model overfitting on the data. So from data, it seems that it is not like a real world data. It is basically synthetically made, according to my assumption, and it is more robotic type or data collected from a machinery. Because as you can see here, the event time start and event time end in the data set are basically distinct. Every sample is distinct, but all the rest of the four columns are basically having very high data redundancy. So ignoring all that stuff, we'll tackle that in the next task. Uh, Here we go, moving to the machine learning main task I had to perform. So basically, there are two versions in this machine learning. So as you can see in this flow, there are two pipelines basically. The first version is having the bottom pipeline, which I'll explain in a few seconds, and the version two is having the upper pipeline. So the variation or difference in them is that version one, it has not been done any feature engineering, whereas version two has done feature engineering. So what's the feature engineering and also target in engineering? So basically, the lat start and long start, which are our columns, are basically are concatenated into a single one, that is start location. And in the same way, I have concatenated lat and long end, that is target columns, that were the target columns, into a single end location. So basically, they're concatenated with a delimiter of comma. So we can already see what the problem is going. These were already numerical features, but after adding comma, it has become a textual feature. So we'll see the problem later on. The second point is that here is a sequential pipeline. Version 1 is sequential pipeline, wherein first we predict the latent with the lasso regression. I'll tell what lasso regression is in later step. And after predicting, the data is stored along with the predicted values with some error and other quantities. And then from the data, another model is trained to predict the longitude end prediction. And the model used is X-Zero prediction model. Wherein in the version 2, it is simple, straightforward. We have the start location, which is a feature, and two other features. And we have to predict only one feature target, that is end location. So there is no need of this sequential move. We just only predict the end location. So one more point is that we have not any comparative study here, whereas here we have done comparative study in version 2. So what is comparative study? We'll discuss later. So these are some of the machine learning configurations. So basically, I've split the data set into 10 test split with 80% in train set and 20% in the test set. So for model, for fine tuning the hyperparameters which are in the model, we used random search CV or randomized search CV. So basically, what randomized search CV is that it basically creates a range of hyperparameters, and actually it applies a brute force from selecting random values from that range and basically putting that in the model, and it does that till the model receives the highest accuracy score. Then lastly, to evaluate model the best, whether it is giving the same result in case we are changing the data set or other. So I have used k-fold cross validation with 5 folds. So what 5 folds is that if consider that our data set is having 100 samples, then out of that the data set will first split it in 5 parts. So 2020 is 5 times. So after that, 4 of the parts, that is 80 samples, will be for the train set, and the rest of the 20 will be for the test set. So these have 5 splits, no? So after every split, the split will get exchanged with each other. So the test set will change 5 times. So we can guarantee that our model is reproducing the same result, even though we are changing the data set. So there's my obvious question. So is there a reason for choosing the ML algorithms? So honestly speaking, for ML task, there should not be any reason for choosing ML algorithms, because it is a fairly an experimental process in ML algorithm, machine learning. So we have to check that if this model is performing better with these hyperparameters, then we should check this. We should use that. So for the task, I was set to use lasso regression and X-Zero regression, so I have stick to that. So as I have discussed here, that for predicting latitude end, I have used lasso regression. So what lasso regression is? So basically, regression is a problem wherein you fit a curve or a line to data points so that it can mimic the fashion of the train of the data set. So the lasso regression adds in this algorithm what in the final studies have done that a cost function is evaluated, wherein the model algorithm basically calculates the cost of the algorithm. So lasso regression acts like a regularization parameter. It introduces a penalty term in the regression. So it basically acts as a regularization and helps us reduce overfitting. So what is regularization is that uh, uh, in machine learning, what is done is usually happens in the black box of the machine learning is that weights are calculated, and from that weights, according to this value, some predictions are made. So if this weight value increases drastically for one feature, then the model tries to overfit on one feature only. So what is lasso regression? It is also called as L1 regression. What it does that it adds a penalty term for the weight. So in the cost function, it adds lambda times weight. So what it does that it restricts the model to over increase the weight. So the weights are properly distributed, and lambda is like a hyperparameter which is used for tuning the regularization. So lasso regression can be proved very beneficial here because the data is our data quality is not good. So it will somewhat help in reducing the overfitting. And the second model which I was used for longitude prediction. So the data set after this prediction of the latitude end got the lasso regression model is then trained with this exiguous regression model to predict the longitude end. So exiguous model has gained very much popularity nowadays because uh, they are basically mostly the winning solution in most of the ML competitions. So exiguous is basically extra grading boosting, uh, basically ensemble models. What it does that it basically creates a small weak models first, and then sequentially improves its previous model's performance. So like if you are creating it creates one weak model one, then it learns from that. It says that, oh, this model is performing not quite well because of this feature. Then it gets second model, which is an improvement over the model one, and next it is an improvement from model two, which is model three, and so on. It does that continuously. So the hyperparameters we can decide to restrict to how much extent the model should improve. So it also has some additional features like regularization term also. So it is also beneficial for the task. So for the version one, I've used this model pipelines, lasso regression and execution regression. So here the evaluation inference shows that the latent prediction has got an here we have used I've used metric R2 score, and the accuracy is one, absolute accuracy. So this is already a red flag. Either the data is very bad, or the model is overfitting, or the model is very superior. Obviously the second option is there in this case, that it is overfitting, and also the first option, which is the data is not good. And also we can see that the longitude and prediction, it has also got as absolute R2 score. So this is already giving us the bad signs. And data IQ is also smart enough. It is showing in the diagnosis that the dataset sanity check, that the test set is either very low, and the data leakage is there. Obviously, there are data leakage because it also knows that R2 score of 1 is not possible in any ML task. There should be somewhat error in this task, but there is not error in this. So from the version 2, as we have discussed here, we have done comparative study here. So what comparative study is that you basically train the dataset on model on every single model possible. So after not random forest, getting those lowest regression, like GBM, execution, and so on, SVM, SGD. So here we can see that the ROC AUC score, which we have not taken here. So there's an issue here, is 0.58, but the accuracy is 0.98, and this metrics like precision, recall, FN score, these are horribly low. So what's the problem here? What that has happened? And we also can see here that out of all these models, light GPM and execute are unable to be executed. So there's definitely some problem. So what's the problem? So there are some abnormalities in our target column due to the target variable transformation. Uh, so we have done the transformation where basically concatenated the latitude and longitude end, which were the two distinct target columns into a single one, end location. So what it has done that it has converted the numerical features, which these were the numerical target columns, into a categorical one. This is because we have concatenated with a delimiter of comma here. So a comma is not basically numerical, so it has converted into text. So as I have mentioned, the continuous variable, these which were the continuous variable, has converted into categorical variable. So this problem already has become from regression to classification. As soon as it has been classification problem, as I have already discussed, there are only 24 distinct values with huge data redundancy. Like out of 1536, there is 1514, which is from one category only. So there is a huge class imbalance. Hence, we have got this precision, recall, and inference score very poor, like 0.14. This is very ridiculous. So, what's the key takeaways? So, this was the first task. That's why I have not improved anything. So, like the main improvement here will be the data only, because the data is not good here. Uh, only 24 distinct columns. This is not good. So the key take was that uh, we could be able to do all this exploration only possible because of this simplicity of the Data IQ Data Science Studios platform. So it is very comprehensive, as we have seen. It has already performed various tasks like debugging the all the model code and basically checking the data quality, data ingestion, and data. Also, I have done exploration of it. It is very simple. So rather than hard coding the code and doing it in Python, we can do it in this data IQ studio. And basically, non-technical person can also do this. It is that simple. And data IQ cases also has a cool feature of exporting to the whole process which you have done into Jupyter Notebook. So this is good for the more technical person, and they can dip down into this all this code and understand all the processes, what is happening, what all the data science process and ML process happening in the backend. So this is very cool feature of data IQ DSS. So let's see what we have gained information knowledge from this task. So the data quality is very important. So I personally believe that from model building, data is far more important. So while choosing any data science task, first we have to check whether the data is good or not. So our data is high redundancy. So this is the place we have to improve. I have to improve and focus more on cleaning and refining the data, and obviously collecting the quality data. Some additional improvements here I can also do that. Basically, I can discuss with you that what's actually the problem statement and who are the target customers. So actually, here in this task, we don't know these events were for the individuals, some human beings, for all the animals, or for a machinery, a robot, or a self-driving car, or something, robotics type things. So we don't know about this. So we can definitely discuss this with the stakeholder and see that whether the demands of the target customers are meeting or not. So accordingly, after the discussion and clarification, we can add or remove some of the features in our dataset. And obviously, I've done here hyperparameter tuning, but there is also more space for improvement for this model monitoring. This is basically very helpful for the projects which are going production level. So uh, the time is moving, so is the data is also moving. So if our data tries to drift so much that our model performs keeps on performing low day after day, so we definitely have to keep track of our model performance each day. So it is very crucial for production level ML tasks, and obviously for hyperparameter tuning for after getting the good data, we also should need to focus on the ML algorithms uh, to get the high accuracy, to get the production level cutoff for the accuracy of the ML models. So these are the key takeaways from the task, and ultimately I'll showcase this in the project itself, the whole project. Uh, and that's all. If you have any queries, you can ask me now, or you can also email me uh, here. So actually, there's not much left here. So I'll go quickly and show the live demo. Yeah, so this is basically the flowchart, which I've also shown in the presentation partly. Like this is the upper pipeline, and this is the lower pipeline, the sequential pipeline. So you can see here that we have these 7 columns, as I mentioned. ID, event start, event time end, lat start, long start, and lat end, long end. So these basically are our target columns, which were decimal at the first. And we can also here analyze this, that we can see that there are only 24 distinct values in your data set. So data IQ is very simple. By just clicking here, analyze, we can already see that uh, what's the distribution of our data. So this is very good. So moving on to the model. So for version 1, which is sequential, so we have here the model performance. So it has absolute score. So the train set they were 1, 2, 3 is what 1230 rows, and test there were 307 rows. So and the diagnostics shows that the test set is pretty small. So 80 to 80%, 20% is low. So I should have taken 70%, 30%. So this should have gone. And obviously there is this statement data leakage is partly correct, but that the RT score is getting absolute. But the main problem here is that our data is not good. So that's the main problem. So after that model building, we have our prediction values. So these lat and are our actual values, which is 38.765, and prediction is 38.774. And by fairly seeing the data, we can also see that these 47.423 are very repetitive. The list goes on. So our model is bound to overfit on this data. Along with this, data IQ also has added the error decline, absolute error, decile, and relative error. These 4 additional columns. So this will also help in predicting the long end for task. So for long end also, uh, it does also have the absolute accuracy R2 score, and it also shows the diagnosis, the same error, diagnostic error. So that's the problem. For version 2, I have done here the concatenation here. This is the concatenation pipeline added. Uh, so our data becomes like the start location, which is concatenation of lat start and long start, and end location, which is concatenated of lat end and long end. So basically, we are omitting these two as the target columns and only taking this end location as the target column. So we can see here that it is separated by comma, and it says that it has become text. So this lat and long end were decimal previously, and our target has become text. So if we go to analyze, so here we can see the target has only 24 distinct values. So this has 1514 count, and the rest of the others were only one. So there is high data imbalance in our data set. So that's the problem. And I'll surely tackle this the further as you'll give me the second task. So that's all. If you have any queries, you can ask me. Thank you.
Okay, so I hope your presentation is done, right?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, well done on the presentation, really well explained. You went too deep on the data and as well as explaining. Okay, one thing I will tell you is try to make a script of what you are going to say. That will help you improve your overall hook as well as overall your presentation also. So you can try that next time. Overall, see, your expression is good, but it can be more smooth and it can be improved. Now, coming to your data, I think with your finding, we can conclude that data is too much biased, that there are a
Yeah.
lot of same amount of, that is why it is giving us correct value because of biasness, right? Okay, so that was your finding with the task, right? So well done on that. You were able to prove that in data IQ, we can see that only 24 are distinct value. So good job on that one. Not many interns have actually focused on this thing. The thing is, see, why we are giving you this kind of data, right? The thing is, no company will give you their data directly, right? When you are currently suppose you are starting your job, or suppose you are working on your first task, there is no company who will directly let you work on their data that is not publicly available, right? They will mostly let you work on data that is computer that is maybe generated from a small data set of their big data set that they have, or that is machine generated, right? But if you are able to find it correctly, if you are able to assess it correctly, you are able to correct make a model, then they will give you the data where you can make improvements to your model as well as fine tune it, right? So good job on the task. That was a really well done task, I would say. Okay, other than that, I don't have anything much to say. As just I would say is that make a script that will make your overall presentation much more smoother. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thanks. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay, thank you,
definitely
Manish.
take this advice.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't think there are any more people who have raised their hand. Okay, so Saili Bakre, do you have any questions or presentation to make?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Sir, I'm
can you
Saini
tell me the
Thakre.
name of? Yeah.
सर मैंने पेड इंटर्नशिप ली है हैकवाडा की, तो सर मुझे ना वो टास्क करने में प्रॉब्लम जा रही है.
Can you turn your camera on first?
ओके सर.
So when did you join?
सर मैंने 16 मार्च को ज्वाइन किया था.
Okay, so you are in the probationary intern period, right?
यस सर.
Okay, so what is the name of the task?
सर रियल टाइम स्टॉक मार्केट डेटा वेब एप्लीकेशन.
Are you from which group?
सर क्या?
Are you from which group? कौन से group से आप? Web development, Python.
फुल स्टैक वेब डेवलपमेंट.
Okay, so full stack web development से हो तो आपको overview of project synopsis का task ना?
सर डॉक्टर वेबसाइट का दिया था एक पहले, तो वो भी मुझे करके नहीं आया.
और डॉक्टर वेबसाइट का तो हमने ओवरऑल पूरा एक प्लेलिस्ट दिया है ना आपको. We have
यस
given
सर.
you YouTube playlist where you can watch it and do it on your own. Then
उसकी
what is the issue
डेडलाइन
you
भी
are having?
डेडलाइन हो गई उसकी
Yeah.
से. तो
See,
सर
don't worry
गिव
about the deadline. Okay, you can
me a
drop your
reference
email.
of other interns who have done this task, because सर हमें सबमिट करना है कॉलेज में इंटर्नशिप सर्टिफिकेट, सो दैट्स व्हाई.
आपको सर्टिफिकेट तो करना है, बट टास्क भी करने होंगे और उसके लिए प्रेजेंटेशन भी करने होंगे, राइट? तब
Yes,
आपको स्कोर मिलेगा और वो वाला स्कोर आप अपने कॉलेज के अंदर सेंड कर सकते हो अगर उन्होंने स्कोर मांगा तो, राइट? तो आपको
yes,
टास्क कंप्लीट करना ही होगा. आप वो वीडियो चेक करो, ठीक है? स्टार्ट से लेके फिनिश तक वीडियो देखो, और उसके बाद अगर कुछ आपको इशू आ रहा है तो फिर जिसने पहले कंप्लीट किया है, ठीक है, प्रेजेंटेशन, जैसे कि आज एक मिलिंद राठौर ने देखो डॉक्टर सर्च वेबसाइट का प्रेजेंटेशन दिया है, वो आप चेक कर सकते हो, उन्होंने बहुत अच्छी से प्रेजेंट किया है, ठीक है। और एक और भी मतलब बहुत सारे लोग हैं जिन्होंने पहले प्रेजेंटेशन किए, तो आप यूट्यूब के ऊपर जाओ, हमारे चैनल के ऊपर, वहाँ पे प्रेजेंटेशन की मीटिंग्स है, ओके। लाइक देयर इज नो सेपरेट वीडियो, डायरेक्ट मीटिंग्स जूम रिकॉर्डिंग डाले हमने, ठीक है। तो उसमें से कुछ अनलिस्टेड है, कुछ पब्लिक है। तो जो पब्लिक है उसमें से आप चेक करो, जो आप पे डॉक्टर सर्च वेबसाइट है फुल स्टैक डेवलपमेंट टीम का, वो चेक करो उन्होंने कैसे बनाए हैं, और उसके ऊपर देख के तुम बना सकते हो। अगर तो भी कुछ इशू आ रहा है तो फिर तुम मुझसे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हो, या फिर सौरभ सिंह या फिर आकाश लांबा से कांटेक्ट कर सकते हो। दे विल हेल्प यू दैट। मैं अपना ईमेल डाल दे रहा हूँ चैट करके, ठीक है।
ओके सर, ओके।
सी यू कैन कांटेक्ट मी ऑन दिस ईमेल, ओके। अगर कुछ इशू है
ओके
तो
सर।
मैं हेल्प कर दूंगा तुम्हारी। अदर देन दैट, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई वुड से जस्ट रेफरेंस को देखो, तुम रेफरेंस देखोगे तो तुम्हारा पूरा टास्क ऑटोमेटिक कंप्लीट हो जाएगा,
ओके
बिकॉज
सर,
वो
ओके,
पूरा
थैंक
गाइडेड प्रोजेक्ट है। जो भी उसमें तुमको करना है, हर चीज वो गाइडेड है, ठीक है।
यू।
और इट इज ऑल वेल एक्सप्लेन्ड। रही बात नेक्स्ट टास्क की, जो है ओवरव्यू ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट सिनॉप्सिस, एक बार तुमने डॉक्टर से वेबसाइट किया, तुम्हारा जब बेसिक स्ट्रांग हो जाएगा तो तुम ऑटोमेटिक वो भी करना कर ही लोगे, ठीक है। तो
सर
वीडियोस देखो, उसको डिलीजेंटली करो, कुछ इशू आएगा तो मुझे कांटेक्ट करना, या
किसी
फिर
का रेफरेंस मिल सकता है क्या मुझे, अगर जिसने किया हो, कोई इंटर्न्स हु हैव डन दिस सेम टास्क?
या मैंने भी ये मैंने भी ये टास्क किया जब मैंने स्टार्ट किया था, ओके, प्रोबेशनरी पीरियड में। अभी मेरा
ओके
पेड इंटर्नशिप चल रहा है, प्रोबेशनरी टाइम मैंने किया था। तो जब तुमको कोई इशू आएगा तो मुझसे पूछ सकते हो,
ओके सर।
ओके। ड्रॉप मी एन ईमेल वॉट एवर योर इशू इज, आई विल रिप्लाई यू थ्रू द ईमेल, ओके। एंड इफ
ओके
नीडेड वी
सर।
कैन डू अ जूम मीटिंग लाइक बिटवीन 7 to 9,
ओके ओके सर, ठीक है।
okay, yeah.
ओके, थैंक यू सर।
Okay, thank you, Saini. Okay, so I believe we don't have any more presentation as well as general queries. I don't see anyone else, so we can, I think, end the session. Thank you for joining. We'll continue
यस
the
सर।
session tomorrow, 7 to 9. You can
यस।
join tomorrow and let me know if you have any more queries.
यस सर। यस सर।
Okay, thank you for joining.
ओके, थैंक यू, थैंक यू।